VACAY-JayTV.
What's going on, fam? What's going on, fam? Oh yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you feel me? Can you feel me? It's your man VACAY. And yes, we are back. It's been a while, fam, since I went live. And I got some guests with me. But of course, you already know my anchor woman to my left, to your right, is on the screen right now. Say what's up. Amy V is in the building. What's good?
Hey y'all. Welcome back. Hey,
man,
good to be back.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. We haven't done this in a while, right?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Kept talking about it. But I got some special guests that I gotta bring to the stage because we got a lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about. Little bit of time, right, Nita? Little bit of time. But you know what? We gonna bring it to the stage. I want to bring to the stage none other super supporter of the show. Absolutely, at the drop of a hat, I could say, hey, you know what, Nita, you want to do this? She's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. So let's bring to the stage none other than the diva of all divas.
I'm ready to chill.
You know what I'm saying? Get the crowd going. Get the crowd going. Nita, the diva's in the building.
Hi. Hey. Thanks for having me. Hey,
cool?
Hey, Nita.
Long time no see.
Come on through it with the red hair. Hey, with the red hair.
That red though. That red, right? That red though. She killing that red right. I'm like,
we matching your background a little bit, Jay. She got the red hair. I got the blue eyes.
You know what I'm
Let's
saying?
go. Okay.
Red my favorite color. She red hot. You know what I'm saying? Nita the diva. But guess what? Again, welcome to the show. I got a surprise guest.
Okay.
Right? Last minute said, hey, you know what? Let's do it. It's been a long time. And a lot of you folks may know her. She hasn't been on for a minute, but she was the first person to support your boy and go on live with me for the first time. None other than Tiff from Tiffinity TV. What's good? What's good?
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Tiff, this is Nita Tiff,
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi.
I got the lovely ladies in the house. I'm honored. Thank you, ladies, for coming on. We got a lot to talk about with this show, The Best Man Final Chapters. Like, I'm excited to talk about it. Are you excited to talk about it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So we got a lot to go through, but we're going to get through it. I'm telling you, we're going to get through it. I got a little guide. We can go free for all, right? Let's just not talk about the ending to the very end. Can we promise to do that? Can we promise a whole? All right. I got a guide for y'all. Okay. Let's do this. Fam,
I make no promises. I'm joking.
You see, always got to be a crack in the wood, right? Let's shout out, of course, our loyals that's always coming through. Daria is in the building. What's up, Daria? How you doing?
Hey, Daria.
Good to see you. I got the ladies in the house. We about to go through with this, man. I feel I'm the luckiest man in the world. I got some beautiful ladies on the line with me. Oh man, I'm super good right now. Okay, family. So we're gonna get into this live discussion of The Best Man Final Chapters. Now I'm excited about it. Why? Because I've been waiting for years for this thing to come back. Shout out to Malcolm D. Lee, the writer, director of this here. Shout out to him. Yes. And just know, family, if you're watching this, just know this is a spoiler-filled live discussion. We're going to be talking about every little and big thing that happened in this show. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you go ahead, watch it first, then come back and watch us, all right? Before I even go further, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to each and every one of these beautiful, pretty, lovely ladies' channels. They all have channels. They all doing their thing really, really big. So make sure you go to the description. Right at the bottom, you'll see each and every one of their links is right there. Just click on it, hit that subscribe button, watch a couple videos, hit the like, make a comment, show love, all right? Show love, get love. That's how we do. All right, family, let's get into it. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's go.
All right.
Tag me in.
Reti. Okay, let's do it. Number one, let us do this for the best man final chapters. Let us rate the show on a scale of 1 to 10. We're going to rate the show. Okay, again, me and Nita, we talked about it. We discussed it. We wish that it was episodic, every week, episode by episode, but they went ahead and dropped this so we can binge it. We got bingers on the line too, right? Okay. We got the Avengers. I'm going to talk about that in a minute.
The Avengers.
That's right. I created it. All right. So we got the Avengers on the line, but I'm going to start with Nita. Then we're going to go to Tiff, and then we'll go to Amy V. So what do you rate the show, Nita, on a scale of 1 to 10?
1 to 10 overall. I'm going to go ahead and give it a good high rating. I'm going to give it a 9.
All right. Okay. 9. All right. Tiffany TV, what do you rate the show?
I'm going to give it an overall 10.
Oh, okay.
I was scared to do 10, but I can do that.
Okay. All right. So give it a 10. All right. Amy V, what do you give it?
It was a solid 8.
Okay.
Solid 8.
Solid 8. It was good, but it was good. I didn't get, it didn't shock me like Best Man Holiday. So I give it a solid 8.
Okay.
All right. And again, if you're watching us, definitely drop your rating below as well. We want to see that. You are definitely part of the show as well. You know how we doing a VACAY-JayTV and friends. So what is my rating? I am going to rate it. Drum roll, please. I'm going to rate it a 9.3.
Here you go with the 0.3.
For those people, percentages, all right, decimals. Go back to school. Okay, 9.3, and we're going to discuss why I rated 9.3. Okay, all right. Okay, family. So I want to do this. I want to do this a little different. Now, again, as I mentioned to Amy, this is going to be a free for all. So, we could talk about any character, any episode. This is how we're going to get through it pretty fast, right? So we won't have to go, okay, let's talk about episode 1. No, let's talk about episode 2. No. You can talk about any episode, any character, but I'm going to give you a guide. Okay. You guys with that? Gonna give you a guide. Okay.
Go.
All right. So let's do this first. What I want to talk about here is I want to talk about the likes and the dislikes. Now, what I'm going to do to guide you, Amy V, Amy Veronica.
Wait a minute.
Because you're my sister. That's why I'm getting on you. And
why I gotta be on the leash?
Okay. Y'all want to know why she on the leash? Go back and watch all the lives that we've done together. Okay. It will explain it all. Okay. But we're going to talk about the likes and the dislikes. Okay. So I'm going to go character by character. Okay. And anybody, I'll go from, Nita, because Nita got things to do. Okay. Nita got another show to do. All right.
It's okay.
It's okay? Okay. All right, cool. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right, so we're going to talk about the first character that we all know. Some of you love them. Some of you may hate them. But I want to hear from you. What are your likes and dislikes about this young man right here? Number 1, Harper Stewart, played by Taye Diggs. Now, again, we're talking overall in this final chapter. What were your likes about Harper, right? And what were your dislikes about Harper? We'll start with Tiffany TV.
So my likes were that he was successful. They opened it up, showing that he actually made a success of himself as his book and as a writer, and they kind of took us through his journey. And my dislikes were that he worked too much to pay attention to his family, and that was a problem. He didn't really compromise with Robyn, and that was the one thing that I wish that he could have done. So
okay. Amy V, what say you?
I like the fact that Harper grew up, right? And he was, to some degree, considerate of others. Like he was really trying. Like we got the sense of the maturity from him growing up. What I disliked is he just was not able to see himself in his marriage. Like as a husband, he fell flat. Like provider, we on lock. He got that taken care of, but he really fell flat as a husband because he just was unable to see himself.
Right.
Okay. Needed a diva. What say you?
Man, the laundry list for Harper in the dislike column. Okay, but I will start out with the good. You know, they say before you tear a brother down, you gotta lift him up a little bit. So
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get the likes out the way. Tiff, she's already touched on it, him being successful and all of that. He was very driven. I love that about him because you know that there's some people who are very complacent, and he was never one of those type people. And I love that about their overall dynamic, that they all were striving for excellence in their own way, shape, and form and stuff like that. But with Harper, it felt like somewhat of an obsession, almost to the same, like he's the same side of Jordan's character, like that drivenness and that, you know, like she said, he has tunnel vision. He's always thinking about the future. He's never satisfied in what he's doing and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, but the dislikes for me is that he was very selfish. He was very selfish, and I'm glad everybody had an opportunity to kind of show himself to him, tell him about himself. Quentin always kept him honest. I love how he kept, you know, reiterating, you know, how he was. And so the selfishness, I did like that he kind of turned the needle about the religion, not religion, but believing in something too. Let me see. And what else did I dislike? Dislike, I don't know. He just felt like he was emotionally unavailable to Robyn. Like, even when we go back to the first best man, when he couldn't even tell her he loved her, his girlfriend, because Jordan was standing there, I was like, no, something is wrong here. Something is off. So yeah, he was emotionally unavailable. He was never mindful. He was never present. He was always searching for something. And I feel like it's low key because of the soulmate situation. He had a soulmate in Jordan, and he just messed it all up, just trying to act like he's doing the right thing, and he was doing the wrong thing in the long.
I think it was more than just emotionally unavailable. He was unavailable, period.
Right. That New Year's party, very telling. Very telling.
Very.
Yeah. Okay. Valid points there. Okay, what did I like about Harper? Successful, driven, young, black, excellent man. All right. This time around, he is now like, listen, I got a movie deal on the table. I want to be responsible. I don't want people to get caught off guard. Let me tell everybody, as opposed to the first film where he's like, oh, you got my book? You got my book? Oh, I already wrote about you guys. I hope you don't find out anything. I hope you don't figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So this time around, take a little bit more responsibility, wants to tell everybody, wants to get the blessings from everybody. Okay. Yes. Driven, always trying to move forward. I like that about Harper. And I agree with everything else that you said. You know, he definitely was emotionally unavailable, wasn't there. He was like a little bit too driven with having a family and a child. Like you're not making the time to be with your family on New Year's, bro. Like that's one thing that I can't excuse, you know, from one brother to another. I can't excuse that. I can't say I was too busy, you know, shooting a movie. No, bro, you are in control of your schedule. The same way you're in control of the way they perceive Murch, but we'll talk about that in a minute, right? So I can't make an excuse for him. He should have made the time to be with Robyn and the family. New Year's, like that's like devastating. I mean, how would you feel like your loved one is just not there where everybody else's loved one is there? Like, come on. All right.
And these are your friends, not hers.
Right.
It's true.
You can't be that busy shooting a movie. Like, come on, like seriously. Like, you know, I mean, I kind of like how they positioned it, but we're gonna talk about that. All right, next person up to bat. How do I sound? Do I sound good? I sound well. Okay, good. All right, good stuff. Yeah.
You sound terrible.
Thank you.
Cancel the live. We can't hear you.
All right. Here we go. Next person is Jordan Armstrong, played by Nia Long. What are your likes and dislikes? Let's take it back. Nita the Diva, will start off with you. What did you like and dislike about Jordan Armstrong?
I liked a lot about her character. Okay, so Jordan, beautiful. Let's start there.
Yes.
So let's start there. Miss Nia Long is gorgeous. I love that she was driven as well. I love that she moved up in the ladder and you know, becoming a full-fledged producer. Like, I mean, the ultimate glow up. So she was doing really, really good. She looked good. What else did I like about her? I love the nurturing part about her, how she had to end up kind of stepping in Mia's role, you know, as the children godmother, because Lance was, we'll get to him. So it's a good thing that she was available for the children. So yes, I love her, the mothering qualities. I love how understanding she was when LJ kind of came out. And yeah, I think I like how she actually handled Harper at the end. I like that she realized that it might have been like a rebound situation. I'm not going to be your soft spot. I'm not going to be that person. Like right after, you know, you need to heal. It's going to take you some time. I know you ain't going to do it this overnight. It's not going to work like that. And I'm not your soft. I said, thank you, girl, for the bounce. Loved it. I'm glad she didn't fall for that, because she really could have easily fallen for that trick and gotten that trick bag. So love that about her. What didn't I like about her? Yeah, her self-care kind of sucks. Like, she was trying to, but she just couldn't quite get it because she was just so driven. The thing is that what I did like about her is that she was able to be under stress, but she didn't look stressed at all. Like, you know, sometimes people, you can see it on their face, or they're, you know, what am I trying to say? Being mean or mean spirited to people, or if something was to go wrong or something, like she never, like, you couldn't tell her stress was getting up. It felt like she just handled it with grace, and you know, but on the inside, it was not doing that. So we definitely know the stressful lifestyle was getting to her. So, but yeah, I can't say too much bad about her. Not in this particular. Yeah, not in this particular installment. Maybe the one previous, but not in this.
Which by the way, she Nita is doing. Are you still doing it? You're doing the Best Man, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. She is going 19, going back to 19. I'm gonna be on there. You know, that's my favorite. That's my favorite right there. So make sure you guys tune in after this, or at 9:30 EST. Tune in to Nita. Yes. All right, and she's gonna cover the Best Man movie. Okay, Tifinity TV, what you got to say about Jordan Armstrong?
I love that she was a bad bee, right? She had her stuff like together. She was walking in those boardrooms. Just, I mean, her wardrobe was fly. I love when she was like, yes, my wardrobe is fire. Like, it's fire. It is fire. And she just, I mean, she just exudes that Black girl magic. Like, she just, I love that about her. And then, yeah, the bad part was just that she just didn't take care of herself. You know, I mean, that's one of the traps that Black women mostly fall into. Like, we're so confident, we're so strong. We have to be strong sometimes for everyone else around us. And then we just forget about ourselves. We lose ourselves. We forget that we have to be, you know, we have to just take care of ourselves. And so it was just.
Did she cut out?
Oh no! Can you guys hear me?
There we go.
You're back.
I still have my alarm set on my phone to remind me of the show.
You're on. You're on live.
Yeah, I didn't like that she was just so careless with, being involved with
Demetrius.
Gosh. Yeah, she was getting involved, and then she kind of, got just a little too close to Harper, knowing his situation, what he was going through. I mean, yes, they're friends, but they got a little too friendly, too familiar with each other, and I didn't like that. I was like, and then to end up, with a potential extra person, you know what I'm saying? Like, she just didn't consider everything, and that's part of taking care of yourself too, just being aware and being careful with your feelings and just what you're doing in general, just being conscious of, that you could potentially be breaking up a home, or you could be doing something very dangerous when it comes to other people around you too. So I just wish that she had, taken a step back to think about everything, before just kind of going full-fledged, like, okay, well, we're familiar with each other. I mean, that happens with, people who are familiar with each other. You kind of like, oh, well, you've seen it already. You get undressed in front of people. She kind of took that approach with Harper, and it's like, no, shouldn't do that. But that was it for me.
Okay. All right. Amy V, talk to me.
So I agree with everything that Nita and Tiff said. She definitely loved the fact how she bossed up. Definitely, like, just all the way to the top. What I think I admire the most and like the most about Jordan is her loyalty to her friends. Like, she holds them down.
She does.
She was in a pinch with, the show, and and the person she thought of was Shelby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Putting Shelby on, and then when it kind of was starting to spiral, having that conversation, like, you would win debates in college. Like, where's that girl? Show them you're not stupid. Right. And kind of really help Shelby to start to come out of her obsession with being young, and, and embracing who she is. Again, like, she just holds everybody down, and her loyalty. So when LJ came out, she put him on blast, gave him that guidance. You're gonna talk to your dad. I'm here to support. And then when it all kind of came out, she was still right there, holding Lance's hand, helping him get through it and adjust. Like, she manages her friendships flawlessly, and like, I love it. Yeah. Even in the big clash, the big argument, towards the end, she didn't pick a side. Like, she kind of checked everybody for where they were, and she just has a way of naturally remaining neutral. I love it.
All right. Again, if you're just joining us, fam, we are talking about The Best Man, final chapters. We are breaking it down, fam. We're going in. I got the lovely ladies in here. They're breaking it down, fam. Okay, we're going to move on to the next person, because, I can tell you, hey, Jordan Armstrong, super fine, super strong, super smart, super intelligent, super producer. I mean, I loved it. I loved it since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, she did hold down the family, and she did accept LJ for who he is. And she was trying to help him, get to the point of opening up to his father. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, let's go now with that transition. See, that was a segue into the next person that we're talking about, right? Lance Sullivan, right? Murch Chestnut. All right, don't go crazy. All right, get your fans out, ladies. Okay, what's going on with this? I already know we got more likes than dislikes. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with Affinity TV with your big smile up in here talking about Lance Sullivan. All right, go ahead, Tiff. Go ahead, tell them what you like about and dislike about your boy Lance.
Lance. Okay. First of all, he opens the door and just, I mean, we even got like the crease. We got the crease.
Here we go.
I mean, woo. That part, just that part. Yeah, and I was like, he still is just looking just right, he's looking really good. And yeah, he's holding it down. I'm sorry, y'all. My dog just decided to play with me right now.
What's up, Punky?
Sorry about that. And so he's, and then, he decided to go back to football, which, was a questionable decision, but I understand, I mean, he was still trying to provide for his family and the loss of Mia, and he's still thinking about her, still loves her, he still wants to be a good dad. And I mean, he really was trying to find his way. So I kind of felt sorry for him in a way, it's just like, we miss Mia, and he was, having
really felt sorry for hold up. You really felt sorry for your boy. Your boy was getting over me a little.
The way it was set up, my heart melted a little bit, and I was like, oh,
Okay. Like 2 seconds.
It's Lance, right? So yeah, but and then he decided to take on the coaching role, and so I was like, okay, good, that's where you should be. I mean, he actually took some of that criticism, like, okay, yeah, maybe I shouldn't go back into football. I'm tripping, like, I'm not a young man anymore, like, I need to wise up and do the right thing. So and I don't know, I can't remember any negatives, honestly. I'm sorry, I can't remember. I really can't. I'm trying to find, I just I don't remember anything else.
Don't worry, I got you.
All right. Nita the Diva, talk to me about Lance Sullivan. Here we go.
Yes, what I like. Yes, that body is sitting on 10. Okay, so he got that together. So I did like I liked his character arc. I think that in order to show the growth of a person, you kind of have to show like the bad. So I think that they kind of really put him in the dumps with that whole thing.
Okay. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they kind of put him in the dumps or whatever. But I think, like we said, along the way, he found his way. Now, for the dislikes, okay, him spiraling. I understand everybody's coping with grief. I feel like when he lost Mia, then he retired, and he lost that identity of his life. He was in a midlife crisis. He was grieving, and then he had all these responsibilities. They had 4 kids, and so that's a lot. That is a lot to handle, process, or whatever. So I'm gonna give him some grace. But him banging everybody from, I mean, everybody. He was supposed to get a vasectomy. He didn't get a vasectomy. I'm strapping up 80% of the time, 75% of the time, 70%. I said, what are we doing? So anyway, that alone, I was just like, ooh, I just hope he was going to get himself together. I think it was only maybe like 2 episodes, so it wasn't like a huge, long crisis. Ooh, crisis averted. We're moving on, and he's ready to turn a new leaf. So I did like that he had that change of heart, and he started pivoting and going in a different direction. Did not like it's to his point. I mean, I understand where he's coming from. Black men have been conditioned a certain way, and they reject certain things that's happening now in the modern world. We're trying to be comfortable with different people. And people are rejecting that, and there is some rejection. So I think it was relatable. I think it was a great storyline to show. I don't think I think they handled it perfectly the way they did it. I loved it, and I love him really asking God to change him, and him seeing the error of his ways. And I always felt like he was a little different than Harper with that. He always could kind of like hone in and kind of like bring it back and be like praying, like, God change me, like I don't want to do this no more. Like even when he got Mia and went through the whole marriage and stuff like that, and he took it on the chin, and he didn't resent her. He still put her on a pedestal. He changed his life completely. Those are the redeeming qualities of Lance. So, I like that they really explored a lot of different layers with him. And so, yeah, I liked it.
Oh, I remember something else. I didn't like how he handled LJ. That was something. Right. I didn't like that. Yeah.
And wanting to live through his son. He wanted to live a second life through his son. You already did it. You already lived the dream. So why are you trying to force this on your well, anyway, that's
which is the case with most fathers and their sons. They try to pass on the mantle. Therefore, you're gonna play football. You're gonna play basketball because I play basketball. I was a star. You're gonna be a star because you're gonna carry on the legacy in the whole nine.
Yeah,
he had a whole different idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Amy V, what you got?
So first and foremost, we got Lance bodied and bearded. I am happy.
You making that a saying? You making that a hashtag? Body and bearded.
Bodied and bearded.
Well, I got the beard down. So, now I'm working on the body. Okay, go ahead.
But I absolutely agree with the ladies. It's interesting, Nita, that you brought up his prayer, because that was one of the things that really kind of got me, is that his prayer shifted. Because at first it was, Lord, help my son. Change my son, change his mind.
Yes.
And then finally it became, okay, let me stop praying to change him and pray to change me. Like, help me to deal with this. So I appreciated that. I kind of knew, he's running through all these chicks. And I if I had a dislike, it was that, like, bro, we need you to calm down. Deal with your issue. We need you to calm down. But he was also looking for a challenge. And the hostess, she was a challenge.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't an easy conquest. She wasn't, overly taken because of who he is. And she knew who he was. So she wasn't impressed by any of that. She had some standards. She had some morals. Like, she had some things going for herself. And so I think he needed to find that person that would be like that balance. That wasn't just some overexcited groupie. So I was kind of happy about that. And honestly, I can't say I was mad at how he handled LJ, because I understood it. And I think it goes beyond, wanting him to play football. I think in general, men have this idea for their sons. And, it's just this masculine portrayal that they have for their sons. So, I want to see him go on prom with the female date. I want him to be, the playboy, maybe even to some degree that I was, so I get where that was, you're a man's man, if you will. And then here is your son, who is the polar opposite. Like, how do you deal with that? And you don't have Mia, who would have been the buffer between you two. There's no buffer.
Right.
So, he's trying to navigate all of that. So I wasn't terribly mad at how he handled it. I was glad that he came around, and I really appreciated how he answered the question when they asked, what do you expect from your son? Is he going to follow in your footsteps? I stood up and cheered, like, yay! Like, I loved how he answered that. He didn't out his son. He didn't embarrass him. He was like, he pulled out all of the good qualities. Like, if he's going to be responsible and this, I was like, okay, good job, Lance.
Good job, Lance. Okay, all right. Let's move on. Y'all ready? Here we go. Let's talk about it. I know y'all got a lot to say about this one right here. Let's talk about her. Oh man, Robyn Stewart, played by Sanaa Lathan. First off, I want to say Sanaa Lathan did a wonderful job, and she is looking extra good. Yes, I've had a crush on her since Loving Basketball and all that stuff. So you already know how I feel about you, girl. I love you. Okay, back to the ladies though. Okay, because we gotta have a balance here. Y'all went off with more Chestnut. I know y'all not gonna be like, yeah, Robyn was fine. I know y'all not gonna say that. I'm gonna say it. Okay, I'm gonna say it.
We said it when he
right.
You can be like, she's beautiful. No, I'll be like, she fine. So now holla at your boy. Okay, holla at your boy. Okay. All right. So let's start it off with Amy. Amy V. What are your likes and dislikes about Robyn Stewart? Right.
So Robyn has always been a character that I struggled with. Like, she was always kind of flighty to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was just something about her that just read indecisive. And then with these chapters, it was like, aha, there it is. Like, her heart, I love her heart, right? She has a beautiful heart. What she wants to do, what she's doing is great. But I think she just kind of, because she's so flighty, it was so easy for her to lose herself in Harper. And, so I get, she's trying to reestablish herself and find herself. And, I get it. Because, like, the whole thing of, well, I never really tell him how I feel. How is he supposed to know? Like, you mad at him and you throwing all this aggression at him for things that you've never verbalized to him. So I've always kind of struggled with Robyn. I felt like she was a safe place for Harper. So like, he couldn't have Jordan, so this is the safest option. Because, she's a good girl, or she's not going to challenge me or anything like that. So I don't know. I just always kind of struggled with her character. Because even like in the dynamics with the other girls, she just was that puzzle piece that was chipped on the end. She just didn't fit.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's it. Oh, okay. Okay, great. You just stopped. I was like, did she cut out? Like, okay. You'll never do that. You'll never just be like, okay, cool.
Well, I'm being mindful because I know Nita has to go. So
thank you. Appreciate it. Speaking of Nita the Diva, can you let us know how you feel about Robyn? Fine ass Sanaa Lathan. Okay, good.
Yes. Fine. Okay. You got three of them for me. So listen, that first episode when they went back into the hotel room and she was sitting it out like that, I said, you better do it. I love that scene. It was so cute. And that's like the good stuff that you want to see with them. It feel like they really focused on a lot of their struggles. But they did have some good moments, but they really did have a lot of struggles. And I think it's because, again, we got to take it all the way back to the beginning. Like, he was one of those men that if anybody stepped outside of his little box, y'all remember that, oh, there's the drama. So she always had to suppress how she felt. She always had to, like, in order to keep him, she couldn't even vocalize it. And so when the therapist is saying that he can't read your mind, but he doesn't want to hear me either when I'm speaking up. So, she walked a very fine line. And, I hate to call people names or whatever, but she gives me pick me vibes. Just kind of like, I'm going to go along to get along. And she wanted the happily ever after. When you're young, that's what the fairy tale is, right? That's what they want us to think. That's why they loaded us down with them Disney Cinderellas and all that stuff. So they kind of programmed us to think like that. So I don't, fault her for that. But, as she was growing and finding herself and finding her voice, things changed. And she saw that he was not going to ever change. And so, you know, I mean, she did the hard thing. I think she chose herself, and I was proud of her for doing that. And what I did not like is how she wanted to move to Ghana. That decision for me, it was a no-brainer for me. I not that you just want to move to another continent. It's the fact that we didn't have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We are co-parents. Her father is still her father.
Can I challenge you just a little bit with that, Nita? So it's not that I wouldn't say that there was no conversation. I think, yeah, she blitzed it at the last minute, but it was always on the table.
Yeah, from when she went there.
When they were supposed to go and visit. So it was on the table. Harper just don't pay attention to nothing.
Right. And it's always about Harper's needs. She's always compromising. She's always like with the brownstone. She didn't want to do it. But what she ended up doing? She ends up giving in. That's the course of their relationship. And she's given so much, and nobody's pouring back into her. So when she had that little interaction with the man at the market, and she said his energy nourishes her. And I was like, wow. And she was just appreciating the small things that he did, like you know, how he look out for her, how he look out for the community. When, you know, just those types of things. And those types of things start to look good when you're starving.
Yep.
Okay. So
that's feeding that 20%.
I understood it. Like you said, you could. I mean, I understood it. I felt like she kept her cool. Ain't nothing inappropriate went down. Unlike Harper.
Almost.
No.
Yeah, when he came to the house.
Came over the house.
It was a hug.
Like, he was like. You saw when she was in the park, though. She was all like waiting to exhale. She was like, you saw it?
Look, she was getting nervous.
Nita, do you think Harper left that manuscript on the table on purpose for her to find? Because that's what swayed her to, you know, move into the brownstone. I think that was bait.
I think so too. I think so too. Because it seemed like, and he knows it. That's why I said he knows her so well. He knows how to get what he needs out of her. And she falls for a hook, line, and sinker every time. Every time.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a good one.
Wow. Okay. All right. Who didn't talk about Robyn? Because I got lost.
Tiff.
I mean, I agree with everything that was said. There were times where I was watching this with my mother, and when she started to have fantasies about the guy in the market, my mom was like, "Oh, Rob," like her voice was just like, "I'm so disappointed in you, Robyn." Like she was just like, "Oh, Robyn," and then at one point she was like, "I knew I didn't like you, Robyn. I knew I didn't like you."
But you remember your mom is mixing her up with the other character from the other movie. What movie was that?
She did confuse her with the character from The Family That Prays.
The Family That Prays, the Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah, we hated her in that. We hated her in that.
Yeah, so, you know, but I remember, you know, just feeling that disappointment from my mom, like, you know, because I really wanted her to just, I mean, I could see that she was trying to hold on, right? She was really trying to hold on, but then it was like, she tried to get him to see where she was coming from, but it was just the way she was just going about it. I was just like, I don't know how you are gonna just. I feel like it was emotional cheating. It was emotionally cheating because she was so checked out because Harper was just not giving her what she needed. And so she emotionally checked out and then started having these fantasies and flirting with this guy, you know, and then the whole him coming over and the hug. And it was like, it was a mental thing, you know, it was all mental. Like you can't put yourself in that kind of situation and, you know, not start to stray from your own relationship. I mean, when you have those kind of thoughts, eventually, I mean, you're going to start to act on them. Eventually you will, I mean, it didn't get that far, but it was almost like, I'm going to use this as an excuse to, have this almost affair, and if it did go that far, she could say, well, my husband isn't paying attention to me. He's not giving me what I need. I mean,
no excuse.
She could have gone there. They could have easily gone there with that.
Right.
So, but I do love that she's aware of the nature, and she likes to give, and I'm like that too. I love plants and animals, and I'm into stuff like that. So the fact that she wanted to take her daughter away to experience, my mom took me on vacations to experience other parts of the world, and to really learn about other cultures and stuff like that. So I really like that she thought of that, but it was just unfortunate that they couldn't really come together. And I mean, there was a point where they compromised. I mean, she compromised for Harper. She came to his event, and then she left and went to hers. And then when he walked in the room, I was like, oh yeah, see, y'all can do it. Y'all can do it. I kind of had some hope. I had some hope, but unfortunately it played out the way it played out. So.
Yeah, unfortunately. So I think the nail in the coffin was when homeboy, Mr. I love your cooking, Mr. I'm waiting to exhale, when homeboy went ahead and found the spot for her. Once that happened, she's like, this dude is really in tune with me and what I want and what I need and what my desires are, what my dreams are. You know what I'm saying? And then when she called Harper to handle it, and he didn't, and it was lost, right? And the New Year's thing. I think that was the nail in the coffin for her. I think it was a wrap. I think she definitely, she was on her way, as you said, Tiff, and Nita and Amy, she was on her way, emotionally about to get all out of it. But I think that was it. You know what I'm saying? And once they had that argument and really just laid everything out on the table, it was like, Harper, you a selfish mother, yo. Seriously. That's one thing I don't like about Harper. Harper is all about Harper for real, and has always been about her. And she has always been a supporting person, mother, wife of him. And the one time, I do agree with her. This is the one time I wanted something for myself, and you didn't even come through. You didn't even pay attention. You didn't even put it on the line. It's time for me to bounce. Now, do I agree with her taking the baby all the way to Africa? No, I do not agree with that. I don't care what nobody say. Take him down to another borough. Y'all in Brooklyn, take
another borough.
You know what I'm saying? You want to go upstate New York, 30 minutes away in Rockland County, because that's where I live, right? Moved 30 minutes away. Go there. Don't take me to another freaking continent. Come on, man. I was pissed off at that. Seriously, how you gonna do that to the baby? I can understand you got a dream. Okay, let's go away for a month and then we'll come back. I can see that. But you obviously had, Mfufu or whoever down in Africa waiting for you in Ghana so you can cook for him. Huh, Robyn?
But Jay, let me ask you a question. So you said you think the nail in the coffin was when Harper didn't come through with the property, right?
Mm-hmm.
My thing. So the new year for sure, but the property thing, that just goes to show how deep their lack of communication was. Because again, Robyn being flighty, did he ever vocalize to her, you pick stuff up and you drop it? Why am I going to invest in this when you keep, you can have these fly-by-night ideas that you don't follow through with, right? So if it was some sort of conversation about that, then that could have been one of the things that's easily resolved. So even though Harper dropped the ball and he didn't follow through, in all honesty, I wasn't really upset by that, because I understood where he was coming from. But you should have told her that. You should have took a step back from what you were doing to say, I have concerns because of your patterns.
I agree. That should have happened off top. Right. It happened after the fact. Therefore, that's why I was like,
and then
they're
she
going
felt
at each
resentment, and then she was resenting him. Yeah.
Right. Okay, man. We was on Robyn for a minute. Okay. let's lighten it up a little bit. Can we lighten it up a little bit? Let's talk about my man's right here. This is my man's right here. My man's Quentin Spivey. Let's talk about Quentin Spivey. And yo, he's a funny character. Like seriously, like he's a funny character, but he went through a lot in this stuff. Like he went through a lot with his dad. He went through a lot with of course
Shelby.
With Shelby, and with Ziamata. What's her name? Ziamata Armani. I love me some Nicole Ivory Parker. But anyway, back to Quentin Spivey. Who want to talk about Quentin Spivey? Y'all jump in. Go ahead.
So we love Quentin. Quentin is like he's the glue, right? He's the glue that just holds it all together. And I think we were all kind of waiting from the first two movies. We were all kind of waiting to see him grow up. So to see him really like grow up and mature, we all kind of smiled at that. But when they first about like, hold up, what we doing? Who is that? Because that's not Quentin. Like, what is happening here?
He was under some kind of spell, girl.
I'm telling you, listen, what kind of voodoo she got on you, bro? Like, what is happening? So it was just interesting, but I was expecting, the way Best Man Holiday ended, when he announced he's getting married. Of course, we all think him and Shelby, got together. So it was like, wait, who is this supermodel? Like, oh, okay, and she weird. This chick hiding behind trees. Like, first of all, how are you thin enough to hide perfectly behind this tree? Like, sis, I need you to eat something immediately. Like, you hiding behind trees, you doing all this stuff, but she killed me when she asked Shelby, what it tastes like. I'm like, bruh, this chick is crazy. We need to get her off of here now. Like 86, this character.
Right.
But Quentin, even how he embraced being a dad and finding out about his daughter, he was always in her life as Uncle Quentin, not knowing that that's his daughter. So
that's crazy.
That was real crazy. But so I liked how he just kind of fell right into that. And it's like he fell into married life like perfectly. Yeah. Like it just fit him. Like he knew what to do. And of course he had that example from his mother and father, obviously. Yeah. But he knew what to do. He knew how to like navigate it. Him and Shelby, he and Shelby were a great balance together. Like, I have nothing bad to say about Quentin. Even when he acting a fool and talking trash, we love it.
Exactly. We here for all
of it. To talk about Quentin. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Okay, Nita, talk to me.
All right, love Quentin. He's one of my favorite characters in the series, and through the movies too. I really mess with him. Even when he was stirring up all that mess in the first one. We're gonna talk about it. But like I said, he keeps you honest. And I like he holds you accountable. I like how he always just kind of like, you sure about that, brother? Right. But I like that they had Nicole Ivory Parker in this for this little bit of time. How she just kind of glided. And I think she was there for like some comedy relief. Something was definitely off because in that speech that they gave a speech and she kept calling him a boy. I was like, girl, I was like, and then she just kept talking about herself. She getting posters of herself. I said, oh no, baby, she is too self-centered, baby. What does she do? What is Quentin gonna get in this relationship? It looks like everything is about her. Right. So we supposed to be talking about Quentin. Quentin, cool beans with me or whatever. I'm glad Murch should have been the best man. And I think when he selected Harper as the best man, he knew that he was gonna get him out of it some kind of way because everybody was looking like, who the hell is this guy? Who is he? Like, what is going on? This is not his authentic self. They was like, something is going wrong. And so when Murch got Shelby and Candace and they helped her do the little lap dance and prepare for the lap dance, Baby, let me tell you about that lap dance. Shelby, you did that, girl. I was like, this
oh, yeah, we gonna talk about Shelby. We definitely gonna talk about Shelby. Mm-hmm.
And he loved every minute of it. And it felt like he knew that somehow they were going to get it together right. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I just felt like that was the plan all along. Somehow, some kind of way, I didn't think he was going to go through it with Zirmar. So, but I did give it to him for being ready to settle down, because sometimes that's just what it takes. It's like he was like, I love seeing how you and not Mia, how the couples are happy when they're married and stuff like that. And he said, I want that happiness too. And I was like, that's a real moment, because I think people do go through that, especially men, because they be wanting to live the life and be unattached and getting all the panty draws. Shout out to Lamont, all the panty draws that they can get. At a certain point in time, it's like a light switch just come on. He's like, all right, I want to get married. And Zirmar just happened to be there. So I think that's what that was. But I loved him. He's the comic relief for sure.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that sex scene. That sex scene that him and Shelby had, that looked like some awkward ass. What's going on here? Like,
that was kind of weird, right?
It didn't look weird. It didn't
I think she was just laying it down on your boy. And your boy, I mean, she wasn't even sweating. He was like drenched in sweat. See, and you heard what he said, though. You heard what he said after. He was like, you ain't nothing but the devil. Like, you the devil. You know what I'm saying? So she was laying it down on your boy, and he knows that. And that's why it was hard for him to just walk away. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, go ahead. Okay.
Like, no, y'all. But the line that got me, though, was keep my daughter's name out your mouth. Keep my man out your mouth.
He pulled the wheel.
Yeah.
He got the wheel.
That was a crazy, great reference to your boy. Your favorite character going down. Now that's a great segue into Tiff, and what's because that's Will is her favorite actor, right?
Okay. Yes, Quentin. I love Quentin. He's like the most sensitive friend out of like he really. Like there's a meme actually going around about how we gonna be January 1st, like where he was talking to Harper and he was like, you need some money, man, in the Santa Claus suit in the holiday movie. He was like, you need some money, man, and Harper was crying. That's how he's like so sensitive. Like he just, he sees when people are not themselves. He comes around, he gives you a hug. It's like you just want to embrace him because he's just so sensitive. He's not like soft sensitive. He's emotionally aware of what's going on with his friends, and he's there for them. And he's funny. He's just so hilarious. I mean, even with his medical scare and everything, he still was like, look, we all gonna go eventually one day. Like we gonna go one day. So I'm not finna stop all the action. Like we finna, and I was just so happy that him and Shelby finally, got married, because I was like, what is going on here? Like this should have already been happened. Like why are we still waiting for this to happen? So but yeah, just the reveal of how he found out about his daughter, and I'm trying to think what else. When they just rallied around Harper after Robyn and his daughter left, like I just you could just feel the warmth of just the friendship that he has for all of them. So yeah, I love Quentin.
That was definitely a moment. That's definitely a moment. You on mute? You were saying something? You was on mute. What did you say?
I said all of that, but he can't cook cauliflower, burning up the kitchen.
Yeah,
he
definitely
was with that. Is that he was trying?
He tried.
Right.
He tried. Yes.
And then he wanted to brush her teeth when she was making all that. Like, I ain't gonna kiss you. Definitely a lot of comedy from Quentin. Quentin is the keep it real dude. I appreciate him. I do. You know what I'm saying? Didn't appreciate that he was cheating on his fiance, but we already know she got a trance on your boy. Okay, wow. Shelby got a trance on Quentin. That's why, the one thing that I did not like was your boy. I mean, he did it for love. I get it. But, bro, like, you on your knees at the airport. I'm begging you, please, come on, don't leave. She's like, come on, man, you're being pathetic. I get it. You do it for love. I get it. I think they're a great couple. I think they got great chemistry. Shelby is something else. So let's talk about it. Being that we've been trying to hold back.
It's not just that he got on his knees for love. He knows Shelby loves a good show, right? And people got cameras all around, so he gave her the show that she desires too.
Yeah, he gave her what she wanted. He gave her what she wanted. But he's whipped. We know that. He's absolutely whipped. Right? All right, let's talk about it. Let's get to her. Shelby. Right? Melissa De Sousa. Yeah. She fine, yo. She fine. She's still fine. Like, she looking good. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry. I always got to start it off with, she fine. Because they look good. At this age, like, they look good. I mean, come on, 1999 to now. Like, they looking good.
Well preserved.
Shelby came a long way. She came a long way. I mean, Shelby in the beginning, you remember, you about to cover it, Nita. Shelby was a B, man. She was a B to Julian, right? Julian, like, we did not like Shelby, man. Like, I didn't even see Shelby as like the finest one, because she was just, her attitude alone was just like, ugh.
Like, this thing. Yeah.
I want to be around her. Like, she's forcing Murch to do this, and Murch, am I asking too much? I just want to go shopping. It's like, man, I would never ever want to be with a woman.
But like was that more of her, or was that more of Murch? I think she was like that with Murch, because when we get to him, because he was soft.
Well,
Murch, because she doesn't treat him like that. Quentin, she don't treat him like that.
Not at all.
Right. Yeah, well, Murch, that's another subject. We're gonna get to Murch, and she knew what she was doing. That's how she knew she can get away with that stuff in the beginning. But now, full circle, I think she's way better. I think she's way better now than she was in the beginning. But I'm gonna want to hear from your ladies first. Let's drop it down on Tifinity, then Nita, then Amy. All right, Tifinity first. Let's go.
Shelby, just all that comes to mind is when Jordan hooked her up, right? And then she found out that the people that were watching her on the show didn't like her. They had all these criticisms to say about her personality and how she looked and different things like that. And when she changed all that and saw that it made a difference, but then to find out that they still hired someone, a younger person, a younger female, right, to be like I think they hired someone to do the social media and all that kind of stuff. She saw the girl, with the fans, and she was in the car at one point, and she was looking like, man, she kind of felt down about herself, but it changed. That changed, for her, because Jordan was like such a good friend to her, and helped her realize, like, you still got it, girl. Don't worry, don't worry about that. You still got it, girl. You got your man now. Like, you doing it. And I think she just, I mean, it eventually. Oh, and what was funny was she was trying to stop her menopause. She was trying to stop her menopause. That was so funny. She was like, "Oh no, I can't go through that." She was having the hot flashes and all. She's like, "I'm still only 40," and Jordan was like, "Still?"
No, you lying.
She just recycling her age. Yeah, she was like afraid of getting older, like women do. We're afraid to get older and stuff like that. So, I mean. But Shelby's good. I liked her, her evolvement or evolving over the years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Needed the diva.
Yes. I got so many things to say about Shelby. She was such a highlight for me in this series. From the point when she first came on the scene, and we saw that she was a housewife. So apparently between the Best Man Holiday In this, she married some probably well-to-do guy, and she made it on the Housewives franchise. And baby, when she heard about Quentin getting married and how she was right with her head cut off, trying to get to Quentin's office just to tackle him. That whole thing was hilarious to me. And I was like, oh my God, if this is what we getting, sign me up. I'm loving it. He just really just kind of like elevated for me. So, and then when you saw the softer side of her, I love the softer side of her. When he went through his medical situation, and I was like, oh my God. And y'all know why he had that heart attack, right?
Popping all the blue pills.
Viagra's, yes. Popping those Viagra's like vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you cannot do that. He talking about how her sex drive is so, through the roof. And yes, shout out to the older ladies. It do be like that. So, I mean, it's just, it's cute. I like that all the touches that they put in there. It was right in the age range where they should have been at. Like they weren't trying to play to no other kind of generation. We're in this generation. This is where we at. And I love that we're dealing with health issues, ailing parents, trying to take care of people who are getting older and stuff like that. I love that's how it made it so relatable, and that's why I gave it such a high rating, like a 9. And it's actually going to be on my top 10 list, y'all. I'm doing my top 10s for my shows and stuff. I can't wait for y'all to see where it ranks. It's not quite number 1. But Shelby's great. I loved her in that New Year's dress.
Yeah.
Dang.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. And that whole going through menopause, and he's like, it's like 30 degrees outside. You talking about have all the windows open. It was just hilarious. It was just hilarious all around. I like how her and the daughter, when the girls get that little teenage age, and she's just trying to tell Quentin, stop buying her all this stuff. She is working you. She is working you.
The game.
Right. She trying to put them up on game. It was cute. I liked it. I love their storyline. I love how genuine and their chemistry was really, really good. Like they just played off each other very well.
Okay. All right.
Glad it worked out.
So like piggybacking off of what you said, Nita, is what I found interesting around the storyline for Shelby is that when you look at it, everything around her is all about aging. Like she's stuck at 40. Like, she wants to be young forever, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the person that plays her in the movie ultimately replaces her on the job. And so that, that's a young person. She's obsessed with being youthful and young, but her husband has to pop Viagra to keep up with her because he's an older man. Then her father-in-law is dealing with, obviously some sort of like dementia or whatever it is. It's like early onset Alzheimer's, maybe something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's dealing with something now. You got that issue with age. So, and then the ultimate is menopause. She's the first of them to experience menopause. And I think they said it was early onset, if I'm remembering. So all of this stuff she's doing, trying to stay young, but age and where she is in her life is constantly confronting her. So I thought it was really interesting that they wrote it that way. Mm-hmm. For me, I like the dynamic now between Shelby, Murch, and Candace. Like, how are you friends with Candace when essentially Candace stole your man? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think she got over. I think she got over that.
I mean, obviously she did, but still,
she got over that and got under Quentin, so she good.
but still, so it's like just I don't know. Shelby is one. She's a fun character for sure.
Amy, I'm going to tell you when they got over it. It was kind of like on the Best Man holiday after they had that cat fight.
Mm-hmm.
After the cat fight, they came together. They kind of forgave each other. She apologized, and I think the apology was sincere. You remember after Mia's funeral and stuff like that. And so I think, and then if they're always going to see each other and be around in the same friend group, I don't even think Shelby they did sleep together, because I remember Murch and Quentin comparing notes. If I'm not, do y'all remember them comparing notes at one time?
I want to say it was in the second. I think it was in the second one.
Yeah, about the headmaster. Well, how good she.
Yeah, they did. Yep.
I do remember that. As soon as you said that phrase, I remember. Yes, you're right. Yes.
Right.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Okay, let's get to it. I want to talk about this guy right here because, man, I feel sorry for him, but then I don't, because he made his own evolution himself. Let's talk about my man, Big Murch, right? Murch.
No Murch slander on this channel. It's like, no.
Listen, Murch's story arc, I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? To go from where he was in the beginning to where he is now. I mean, MMA fighter, like who knew? Like who would guess? Who would guess? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to take some points out, because there's some stuff that I really, really enjoyed, especially, the whole Karen thing, which I could definitely go into. You know what I'm saying? And the many different scenarios that ran into his, like, that was just a lot with Murch. That's why I love Murch. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll start off with we'll go with Amy, then we'll go with Nita, and then we'll go with Tiff. All right. So, Amy, talk about Murch, man.
Murch is just like, you can't help but love him, right? Because his heart is so pure, and he's a lovable character. But I think he is kind of, if Jordan is Harper in female form, then to me, Murch is Robyn to some degree. Like he so easily loses himself in other people. Like we see it in how he is with Shelby in the beginning. And then now I love Murch as a husband. Let me just say that. Okay. Like, he holds his household down.
Yes.
Right. Like, he fell in, I don't even want to say he fell in line, but he just allowed Candace to bloom and blossom, and he fell right in with it. Like, the partnership between them, I love.
Yeah.
But he loses himself. Like, it's hard for him to say, look, I'm tired. Babe, you've been out all this time. You need to stay home. It's really hard for him to assert himself. So for him to become an MMA fighter and actually be good at it, and it be a natural talent, it's like all this time you've been, shrinking. You've been a badass this whole time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? So I love that. I got a little annoyed with him wanting to be the best man part. Like, it was kind of, and then he had like the name for him and Quentin, like, bruh, stop. Stop. Like, it was a bit much, but I
not only that, he had this whole poem. Queen of More. I was like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why are you really? And he was really trying to play Harper, like, bro, you don't deserve this, bro. Like, I got a poem. Give her the Grammy right now. Like, he was really playing into it, like,
he
hard.
really was. But then it was, I think, when the movie came out, and it wasn't so much that's how Harper saw him. It was really more like him seeing himself.
Yes.
It was really like looking in the mirror.
Mad at himself.
Right. And you can't be mad because, honest, this is what you did. This is how you act. So I think that really just fueled him. I can't front though. I thought they were gonna change the arc to the story arc for their family, that baby girl was pregnant. When he came home and she's sick because she ate all the pizza, and she had already came downstairs and said I wasn't feeling well. I was like, So I was like, are we?
That's the first thing I thought too. That's the first thing I thought. She was like, oh, my stomach hurt.
Right. Like, I'm like,
either it's period or something going on. Yeah.
That's kind of where I thought they were gonna go with it, but they didn't. So, but even just how he is with his daughter that has the anxiety issues. I just love him as a dad and as a husband. All right. That's all for me.
Wow, that's it for you. Good job. Okay, who's next? Who did I say was next? Nita, yes, she next.
Oh yeah, love Murch. Love. He's so lovable. He, like I said, I sorry I jumped in on your conversation talking about he was mad at himself. He really was, and I like that I still feel like he handled it in a healthy way, finding a different outlet, trying not to take it out on other people and all this other stuff. You know, he just kind of drew a boundary. He was like, no, I'm not going. I don't want to see myself up there on, when he, did all that. Fine. And I felt like he did it. It was kind of rough. I was like, damn, it was kind of harsh. He just got off the phone like, I was like, oh.
He's asserting himself now.
Yeah, but I feel like that's him taking accountability for his actions. He can't be mad at nobody but himself. And so we got to find something else. And then we also saw the Karen situation and how he wanted to handle that. So I love just finding a redirect of all that energy and all of that and try to get it out. And he explained it perfectly. It was just like I needed to release it. I needed to redirect it. I needed to get it out. And so I love that, just showing that type of tool that he was using, a coping mechanism as he worked through that whole thing. Love Murch. Him hitting the stripper girl. I was like, oh my God. I said, how you gonna hit the stripper girl? Too funny. And yeah, I like how he asserts himself with Candace and the girls. When she got all upset at the daughter because the daughter must have said something, some kind of way that somebody knows about her medical research that she's working on, and she got approached and all that stuff, and how he kind of just jumped into that, and he was just like, this ho, let's not talk to her like that. We, it's unorthodox, and we have to, find the language. You can't be mad at her because we don't have the language yet, So I just love how he did that. And then I think he didn't say anything wrong, but she took it wrong because she was going through her own thing. She had just been assaulted. SA. Yep. And, so she was going through that and dealing with that. So I just think, she kind of blew up and, like she was going through something. So
yeah,
I gave her some grace for that.
Okay. Tiffany TV.
Murch. He is like my personal hero. Like, growing up, I was kind of nerdy and, people picked on me and said stuff about me and everything. But he got some BALLS and he told his friends to stop picking on him. It was hurting his feelings and to stop it, cut it out. And I'm so happy he did that. He put his big boy draws on and he did that. I was like, yes, Murch, that's right, you are not a nerd anymore. Like, and who knew he was gonna do the MMA? I was like, whoa, like that was, and then the scenarios with the Karen. Oh my God. I thought that was really happening. The way they kept running it over. I was like, oh, after the first one, I was like, oh, that wasn't real. Then the next one happened. I was like, oh, he really did that. Oh no, he didn't really do that. It was just, I was freaking out because I was like, he really did that? But he was probably capable of each scenario, but it wouldn't have turned out the way that he would want it to turn out. So he's so selfless. That's the reason why I think he's so selfless with his friends, with his family. He thinks about everyone else first, and that kind of his kindness got taken for weakness. And that was why he was the butt of the jokes all the time. They kind of picked on him and things like that. But Man, Murch, that's my dude now. That's my dude because I'm an MMA fan. I love MMA. So, to see him take that on, and then, it went viral. His students, found him on going viral, and he was like, wait, let me see that. He was like, wait a minute, people actually are watching me. Oh, he might get the big head later on. I want to see if they come back, but yeah, I would love to see him do more in that arena. But yeah, I love Murch. Murch was great. That was great this whole season.
Okay. Murch. I'm proud of him first because if you remember, we remember, Murch, man, you can't keep a secret, right? Murch, we ain't telling you nothing. Like, you knew about this? What Jordan and Harper, they kids? But I'm proud of him because in the final chapters, he's like, I ain't say nothing. Y'all found out.
Did. He almost did.
But he didn't.
Quentin had to push him out the way.
Right? He didn't say anything about LJ. He didn't say anything. So salute to him on that. Okay. Murch, man, like, again, I'm proud of him too.
Yeah.
Because he really had to get his gumption up. He really had to get his confidence. He had to come into himself. And, being a responsible dad, the hating thing, I didn't like that. But, Murch, he's always been the educated brother, right? And the educated brothers was always looked down on, right? The educated brothers like, you ain't getting no girls, Murch. You ain't. And when that movie came out, I really felt sorry for him because the way that they did depict him in the movie was like he was a real sucker, So for that to come full circle, I mean, that's the way that I guess Harper looked at him, and for it to be displayed in a film, I can understand why he didn't want to go to that movie premiere. I can understand, you know what I'm saying? But Candace, she was right there with him. I like the fact that when they was at the party, at the New Year's party, they picked up the candy. He was like, F them kids. F them. She was like, yeah, F them kids. And then they started dancing. They started doing the crazy moves. Like, I just feel like moving my butt. I feel like moving my butt. I'm like, go ahead, Murch. Go ahead.
Them edibles.
You high in the sky, but you know what? Enjoy it, bro. Like, keep doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? So Murch, definitely shout out to him. I appreciate it. How they definitely presented him. Okay, last but not least, and then I got one more question, and then we're gonna wrap this up. All right, last but not least, let's talk about It's Like Candy. I can hear it when you walk, even when you talk. Man, listen, from the first best man, Regina Hall. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. Like I don't know if that was her real booty when she put the booty in Murch's face. If that was real, I was like, salute to you, Candace. Salute to you, Candace. Salute. Super salute. But we're going to start with Nita. Then we're going to go to Tiff. Then we go to Amy. What are our thoughts on Miss Candace Murchinson? I didn't even know that was the name until I looked it up. Murchin. That's why they call him Murch, because his last name is Murchinson. Okay. But Candy, what do we think about Candy? I already know where you're going. But go ahead.
I love Candy. Yes, that wig was
a Tyler Perry wig.
Aggie. I was like, what is going on?
There's an explanation, though. There's an explanation for that. I have my theory, but go ahead. I have my theory.
I mean, I feel like I know we're going with the whole natural, but there are natural wigs that look more natural. Like, it actually looked like a wig to me. So that kind of defeats the purpose to me. Like, anyway, I'm gonna get off that. I don't like to harp on that, but I think that was a wig choice, and I think they could have did better. Whoever, maybe they don't like you, Regina Hall. I don't know why, because you're the sweetest girl. And yes, I was trying to get a picture of her when she was doing that dance for my I don't have it. I couldn't get it because anyway, I couldn't get it. I couldn't find it on the internet nowhere. So but that was like one of my favorite parts of that movie.
Mine too.
Yes, I just think she was overworked. And then you remember I already talked a little bit about her because her and Murch's storyline kind of coincide. I just think she was, I don't know, just too driven or something. But I don't want to say anybody's too driven or whatever. I just feel like she just had too much going on. They were doing a lot. They was taking on a lot. Opening up schools after schools, and put more on their plate and stuff like that. And then she's trying to pursue a doctor's degree. And but I do feel like she was there for the kids. It's just like sometimes the schedules just didn't line up. And like Amy said, partnership. Like there were no roles there. There was whoever can do it. Like there were no gender roles. There was like, no, I can't take the kid. Like he tried to protest one time, try to, put a boundary up. And like, I got my time. And she was like, well, can you make it family time? I was like, but he, eventually he said, yes, he would do it or whatever. But, yeah, I just think she was a little overworked. And, her SA situation, I'm glad that she ended up reporting it because it looked like she was going to stay quiet. And it just so happened that she saw that he was going to win an award. And I was like, yes, I'm so glad. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to say that you're a victim, be re-victimized, not be believed. A lot of that stuff people go through, women especially. I'm sure men go through it too, but I'm going to speak to women where you can't speak up, because if you speak up, it's going to be, you're going to be met with so much pushback. And so all of that stuff is re-traumatizing, humiliating, is it's very discouraging and stuff like that. So I do like that they put it in the storyline. I mean, it's a real thing that really does happen. And the reason why I think it happened is because he felt like she owed him something because he put her on in that big magazine or something, or it was something. And you men think that you can't do nothing nice for a woman, and the woman got to owe you her body or something. Like, it's just ridiculous. I'm glad she reported it. I love to see the little times where they, do the edibles and get loose and all that stuff. They're a really cute couple. I love their declaration to each other when they was talking about they're in quicksand, and he was like, well, let's get out of it. And I'm like, I know that's right. And that whole being truthful when you ask how you're doing, be honest and tell me. Don't cover it up. Don't, be honest. So I love that little declaration and how that kind of storyline ended and stuff like that. So love that.
All right. Tifinity.
Candace, when they ate those edibles, the first of all, Regina Hall is hilarious. By herself, like she is so funny. I mean, she acted her butt off. I was like, okay, you got my stomach hurting when y'all are off these edibles. So yeah, I mean, but I like that they could she could let her hair down and have fun, and let all that stuff go, because I wanted her to tell him that night, I wanted her, when that happened to her, I wanted her to I was like, tell him, because he could beat that dude's, you know what I mean? Like, when he did find out, I thought that's what was going to happen. I was like, oh, he can fight now. So he going to go out there, he going to find that professor and he going to do something to him. That's what I thought. But, she was overworked. She was doing a lot. She was just doing so much. And, she felt guilty, at one point. I think she was like feeling guilty that she, she had to miss the event. She was like, I'm missing the event right now with my friends and, all of that. And then to be just devastated, you're trusting someone, you thinking, because at first I kind of thought, I was like, he keep telling her to redo it and do it over and do it over. And I was just like, something ain't quite, some in the milk ain't clean with this guy, and boom, it happened, and my mom, when we were watching, she was like, he should have came to your house. You should not be over there. You need to be over there. I mean, it was just so funny. She was talking back to the TV. That whole situation. My mom is so funny. But yeah, so Candace just eventually she understood, like, okay, this is my husband, this is my family, like I have to, things have to change. When she changed when she decided to do was it wellness or the what was it, the herbs and
herbal medicine,
the herbal medicine, and when she decided to do that was because of her daughter having the anxiety and everything. So that was something she had to take on because she wanted to help her daughter for the most part. So I mean, but then it took her away, just like Harper got taken away from his family. It started to do that for her, but that's why I love Murch. Murch is my dude. Like, he just was like, no, we gonna work this out. We gonna get through this. This is us. This is us. And he stuck in there. He hung in there with her, and he found his way, to release what he needs to release. But he still came back, and that's why I love Murch. But Candace, hats off to her, because boy, it was a lot. I know it took a lot for her to write that letter and get it out there and tell her truth. So hats off to her on that. Yeah,
hats off to her. Okay, Amy V, what you got to say?
Lord,
all right. I fell.
Oh no.
All right, she'll be back. So Candy, man. So here's my theory. Y'all want to hear my theory about the wig? You want to hear my theory?
Oh Lord.
Because everything y'all just said, as far as her being overworked, doing so much, I think the wig looking so stressed out and being stressed out, that was the purpose of the wig, to display. Because when y'all go through stuff, sometimes you don't get the time to go get the hair done and everything else like that. You're so in between taking care of the kids, taking care of the job, taking care of everything, right? So, you throw on a wig, and sometimes you may not comb it right. And sometimes, like, listen, we got to go. We got to do this. You got to go to violin practice. You got to do this. You got to do, all right, let me just throw this on real quick. Boom, I'm going to come right back. Then I'll take care of it. And then you never come back, take care of it, because y'all being mommy. Y'all being super mom, right? So,
I think you're right about that, Jay. Because it happened, the transition happened after the pandemic. If you notice, she had, straight hair. A lot of us went, like, I still haven't recovered. I haven't got my nails done again. I am gonna keep my hair up though. So I mean, even if I do a ponytail,
I like that red. I like that.
But I had, you didn't. Sometimes you don't get back into your regular routines, especially. We never been through a pandemic like this before, so. A lot of things that got disrupted, and I didn't notice that it was right after that, and she was going full force with everything. So
going full force, yes. So that, hey, I got a little something, I know a little something. I pay attention to y'all for the most part. All right. So I got one more, and then I got a last question, right? One more person we want to touch on, and
Can I just
what
jump
you want
in
to
real
say?
Quick? Because the dogs went crazy and made my phone fall. It's crazy. but what I was kind of thinking about, like with Candace, is because she used to be a stripper, and she was doing that kind of work through college. I think some of that, like not wanting to be remembered for that and not wanting to be stigmatized by that, I think that was a lot of what was driving her to be, constantly putting so many things on her plate, just from like how she reacted when, the whole stripper thing came up in the restaurant, and the youngest was like, "What's a stripper?" Like, so
what's sex? Yeah,
right. So like, there's obviously some conversation about that in their home, and I think she's really trying to erase that part of her history.
Okay, I like that. I like that observation. That's a good one. All right, let's talk about it. This is it right here. The big secret that finally came out. Your boy LJ. Okay. Let's briefly talk about that. Then I got one last question, and we're gonna wrap this thing up. I appreciate y'all for staying on. Let's talk about it, fam. Hold on one second. Yep. Okay, cool. All right, good stuff. Nita, appreciate you coming through. Thank you so much. We're definitely going to hit you up. Make sure you guys head over to her live after this one. It's probably going to go simultaneously. Then as soon as we're done with this, we're going to head over to Nita. You know, all right. Make sure y'all support. I appreciate you, Nita. I'm going to talk to you.
Thanks again for having me. I appreciate it.
Bye.
It was nice to meet you.
Bye, Nita.
Bye, Amy.
All right, fam. So let's talk about it. LJ. Let's talk about it really quick, and then I got that one last question, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. So we'll start off with Amy V. Let's talk about LJ, your goods, your bads, your whatever.
I mean, there's really no bad. He's a kid, in society today, trying to figure out who he is, what he is, and trying to navigate how he's always felt one way. And then the truth of it is now the parenting piece of it. So as a parent, you do have aspirations for your child, and you have things that you want them to accomplish. And when they start to live their own lives and they discover themselves, there is a moment that kind of slaps you in the face, and you have to kind of deal with their choices now, and them taking control of their own life. So I mean, this is who he is. He's non-binary. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that he eventually embraced it and was like, this is me. I don't want to hide who I am. I think it just really got real when he said, I wish sometimes it was you instead of mom.
Wow.
And it's like that was heavy, but unfortunately, a lot of times I think mothers, we tend to be a little more compassionate to our kids just because of that natural nurturing instinct that we have. And, we want to protect them. Whereas dads often have tunnel vision. Like, I see what I have planned for you and you can't deviate from this script.
It's true.
This is the vision. So again, like I said earlier, not having that buffer. I was glad that LJ didn't hurt himself, that he had a safe place. But we, Jay, you and I talked about this like before I watched it. Yeah. Raising kids now is some challenges that our parents didn't have.
Yep.
So and there's no book that tells you how to respond to it.
Okay. T-Finity, what's your thoughts on that, gal? What you talking about?
LJ was fly to me. I mean, LJ came with the little fly. I mean, he was just all about fashion. And I mean, he was doing it. He was doing it. When he pulled out them boots with the clear heels, I said, okay, LJ.
No, you wanted them, right? You wanted them, right?
Listen, he had this nice little wig and everything. I was like, okay. I mean, it is difficult when biologically you're born with male parts and all of that, and then you identify as non-binary. I mean, it's difficult to start to program your mind to refer to them as a them or they. You just it's tough. It's something that everyone has to work through, but it's the acceptance of it, right? It's the acceptance of it. That is what is happening. That's what is, the world is changing and more people are becoming this way and they're identifying as this. So we have to, conform just a little bit so we can have compassion for them or they, they or them, in that way. So, but I liked LJ's character. He did scare me because I know I did, and I apologize to my mom because I was a little, I got out of hand when I was younger and I disappeared on her and she didn't know where I was. And LJ kind of did the same thing. Once he fell out with Lance, they had the little argument and they couldn't find him. He went missing. And I was like, oh no. Your heart sinks like, please don't let it be something tragic, right? When we do find him, but luckily he was all right. But it was just like, I was just like, no, LJ, no, don't do it. Don't do it. You're loved, you know. So, but I loved LJ. That was, you know, he had confided in was it his cousin? Who is this?
It was a friend. It was a friend. Yeah, that was his
friend. Okay. So yeah, she, you know, and I'm glad that he had someone that he could confide in. And then, you know, of course, telling Jordan was like the cool aunt. You know, he was able to confide in her, and you know, she handled it very well. So at least he had a little support, even though, you know, his dad wasn't quite there yet. It wasn't quite there yet, but yeah.
Even Quentin had a good response.
Yes.
When Quentin walked in on him, he didn't like spaz out.
Exactly. You know? Yep.
Well, you know, as we spoke, Amy, as we talk all the time, right? You know, we're living in a different time now. You know, back in the day, back in the 90s, you know, for somebody to say they're, you know, loving the same sex, it's like, you get excavated. Like, I don't want to talk to you, you know, stay away from me. Now we're in different times. You know, there's some people that are more accepting to it. And, you know, I'm going to highlight this point here, highlight what this person said. Inga71 says, you know, change is hard, and it's hard to change the new way of thinking. Yeah. You know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of changes going on. The internet is like prevalent in all of our lives. We're on the internet right now. It's like a lot of discussions, a lot of platforms, a lot of people have something to say. You know, to me, it's like, okay, this is your choice. This is how you feel. You know, I respect people as a human being. At the end of the day, you're a human being. I don't care, you know, if you say you're non-binary, male, female, I'm going to respect you as a human being. Whatever your choice is, that's your choice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your choice is not affecting me. It's not affecting me in any way. You know what I'm saying? So for people to say, oh, you know what? But I can understand coming from a father perspective, looking at it in a myopic way. You know, one side of like, hey, this is going to be my son. He's going to carry on the legacy. And a turnaround, total opposite happens. And as you said, Tiff, he disappeared. The first thing I was like, I pray that he does not self-inflict. Right? I pray. I was like, no, I hope they're not gonna write this that he, you know, took his own life. I hope they don't go there. And thank God they didn't. Thank God he went to, you know, a church and had a minister that was understanding of everything. You know, at the end of the day, God is love, and God loves everybody. You know what I'm saying? Whatever choice that you make, God loves everybody. So, you know, for him to have that safe haven, and for us not to see that he, you know, self-inflicted himself, I was just like, thank you. You know what I mean? And as you said, Amy, you know, at the end where, you know, they asked, you know, is your son going to carry on, you know, the legacies? Like, you know, my son's going to do whatever he wants to do, and whatever he wants to do, I'm going to support him. That's love right there. That's love right there. You know what I'm saying? It definitely, yep. Great point. Inga again, you know, Lance is an alpha male, so that's why he reacted the way he did. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I think I would have reacted the same way initially. You know what I'm saying? Like, get that stuff off your face. Like, you know what I'm saying? I care. Everybody else doesn't care, but I care. You're my son. You know what I'm saying? And for him to then, again, Nita mentioned it earlier, but for Lance to pray to help him find understanding in all of this. Like, he needed Mia. He needed God. You know what I'm saying? We all need, you know, there's times where we don't know what to do. At all. So, you know, the ultimate source of where all success comes from, where all answers come from is above. So that's all he could do. So I was proud of those moments. I was, you know, a lot of people like, yeah, you know, they pushing this agenda. I'm like, this is what's going on right now. It's the real. This is the real of what's going on right now in families. People are dealing with it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Malcolm D. Lee. You know, some people had a problem with that. And me, I'm like, yo, listen, what's going on right now. We need to have it addressed. We need to have a discussion. Let's have a discussion about it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't understand, if you see it one way, let's talk about every other, you know, everybody else's perspective, so you can get a full understanding as to how to handle this. You know what I'm saying? How to react to this. How not to be just totally tunnel vision that you can't see and at least hear out other people's opinions. At least hear it out.
Yeah.
least hear it out. You may not want to accept it. You don't have to accept anything, but at least hear it out and try to come to a reasonable understanding that this person is a human.
Don't live in ignorance.
Being. Right. This person is a human being at the end of the day. That's your son, Lance. Regardless of what happens, you know what I'm saying? If he decided to turn to bleach his skin green and turn into, the incredible African-American Hulk, like that's your son at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Respect that, love him. You know what I'm saying? Love him. So, I appreciate what they did with this. So last question, and then we're going to wrap this up. I appreciate you guys. Tamika, Inga, 71, Tamika's Dean. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us and your input as well. So here's the last question. And this is for everybody. Definitely chime in below. All right. Last question is, if you could choose an ending, how would it be? If you could change anything about the ending, what would happen? I'll go first. No, I'm not gonna go first.
So
I'm not gonna take it away. Go ahead,
for
Amy.
me, I probably would have put Harper and Jordan together. Because the way it came on, and he's like, finding my soulmate, and the camera pans to Jordan. It was like, I kind of wanted that gap to be bridged. Yeah. Like I wanted that gap to be bridged. So I think I would have probably put them together, because we all know that truly is his soulmate. Like that relationship should have come into fruition.
Yeah.
Especially since after she says, I'm not going to be your soft landing, we jump ahead, a year, 2 years. We jump ahead 2 years. So, like, come on. He couldn't have landed on you in 2 years? Like, they could have gave us that. That's probably the only thing I would have changed. But if I can, really quickly, I love how they did something very intricate with Harper and Robyn that came full circle. So remember when she jumped off the boat when they were on the island, and she said, "Take a leap with me"?
Yeah.
It came all the way back around to that leap being Ghana, and just like he didn't jump on the boat, he didn't jump.
Yes, he didn't. So that lets you know right there, like, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to take that leap.
Nope.
I believe. Okay. T-Finity TV, what do you say?
I'm trying to think. What would I have? What's the question again?
The question is, if you could change the end, if there could be an alternative ending, what would the ending be like? What would you change based on what we saw at the end? Right? What would be different in your mind? I already know what I'm going to do. Go ahead. You want me to come back to you?
Ending. I mean, because there's so many things. Like I wanted Murch to whoop that professor's, what. Like, I wanted him to go find him and punch his face in, for what he did to Candace.
Okay, so now we going from the best man to now one of the power books. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I guess with Harper and Robyn, yes, maybe I kind of did want to see them together, but I would have liked for Harper to go to Ghana. I would have liked for him to just show up for his family, not just sit. Because what did he do? Sit there on the couch, sulking, crying, whatever, and his boys came over to cheer him up and everything. I'm just like, you could be with your family. Like, you just lost your family. Like, for what? And for what? Like, everything that he was trying to do wasn't going to happen for months, right? He could have sacrificed and done it. He could have gone to Ghana with his family. And I just wished he had more, like, will. He would have willed himself to just do it for his family, for his daughter, But I know he really.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me challenge. Let me ask you this real quick. Do you believe that Robyn wanted him to go? Because remember, last straw, she was done with him. Like, it wasn't just her leaving. They got a divorce in this process. She wanted to sell the house and the whole nine. She basically wanted to cut ties with your boy.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? She had already checked out mentally. She emotionally, mentally, like she wasn't really there like that. She was just really like just going through the motions for her daughter. Really, that's how I saw it. But I'm just saying, if it had to change anything, I would have liked for him to just, like he showed up for her at her event. After she showed up for him, he showed up for her. Just boom, hey, I'm in Ghana, and I would have been crying and ugly crying because he actually cared. He actually cared for her. So
I think if he would have gone to Ghana, that wouldn't have been the be all end all. I think she wanted him to show up. Her response when he showed up, when he left, the premiere and showed up to her event, like her expression, she just wanted him to show up. So I think even because they went to counseling after the whole losing that property, that's what kind of sent them into counseling. So they kind of worked through that. So I think she really just wanted him to put her first in something. So had he went to Ghana, they would have still been together. She just wanted him to show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If he would have went to Ghana, he would have to prove himself even more. That would have been the first step. Remember what he said after he, buckled the baby up, put her in, she started crying. He's like, listen, just stay. You know what I'm saying? I'll change. I'll do whatever. She's like, you are never going to change. She was done with the dude. Like, even if he went to Ghana, he still would have had to prove himself.
But him going to Ghana would have been changed. But think about that. Him going to Ghana would have been him showing some sort of change, because for once he would not have been putting himself first.
That's one,
and that's what she wanted.
Yeah, that's one piece. But still, she already has in her mind, okay, you did that. So what? You came here. Now you're with us. Cool. How long you gonna be here? Because I know you. I know you, Harper. Now you're gonna leave again. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been.
Her confidence in him definitely diminished. There was no confidence in or faith that he would step up and do or compromise and be there for them like he was in the past. So I think, and then I think also he would have been fantasizing about Robyn. He might have been,
and she would have been fantasizing about whatever African dude or whatever the dude was. It was like, whoa, you like my food too?
Back with her daughter. Yeah, her mother, she sent the daughter with her mom.
Yeah,
right. Instead of coming back herself, because she could have come back too.
She could have.
She could have come back too.
The African dude is slaying her down. She ain't going nowhere. You saw when she was in the FaceTime, she was in the rainforest. They was making love in the rain. You know what I'm saying?
That just proved that she really didn't want it anymore. No, she was done. She was done.
Yeah, she was done. And at the same time, when she was in that position where, old boy that was trying to help her out and she was all waiting to exhale and the whole nine, like right there, you already know she emotionally, mentally, she's done with Harper. Like she been moved on before she moved on. Right? You know what I'm saying? So I see a lot of great points. Let me see what's going on. Right. Let me see here. Okay. Inga 71 says, he never really loved Robyn. Okay. And it also says, but I don't agree with her taking the baby to Ghana without having a discussion about co-parenting. Right. I think that was foul. I really think that was foul. Yeah. Seriously. That was straight foul. You know what I mean? Like what? So my question is like, what is it that Harper has done without that she didn't like without discussing it with her first? Yeah. All right. We're not talking about the first film, we're talking about final chapters. Right. He showed her he showed her the new place, even though she didn't like it, she kind of went along with it. Right. What do you remember that he did that he didn't talk to her about first, that she just like, you know what? No. What?
Now he does always. Yeah, he always, brought up whatever his moves were, what he was thinking, what he was planning, what options were presented. So I don't think that was the issue at all. He was always very transparent. with what was happening. He was just going to do what he wanted, not really considering her. But to your point, I think the point you're making, he didn't do anything to deserve that.
Right. He didn't. To me, that was straight foul. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Tiff. Yeah, he could have went to Ghana, but still, like I said, you can go to Brooklyn. You want to go to an island, go to Long Island. You know what I'm saying? Go to Strong Island, go to Staten Island. You ain't have to go to another continent. But
it was just out of spite. It was out of spite because of the, the restaurant or the restaurant, the club or whatever. Out of spite, out of that, for that, out of spite because, she was asking something of him that he just was not trying to. He was just oblivious to her unhappiness. He was oblivious to her unhappiness. Yeah. She showed that she was. She told him in several ways that she was unhappy, and he just dismissed it. And after so long of that, you're like, okay, well, I mean, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna want to do because you're doing what you want to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and she just took it out on him.
I don't necessarily think the move to Ghana was necessarily out of spite because remember, she wanted to stay on the island.
That's true.
She was like, we should come. So it just kind of seems like, again, she's lost in herself. She was searching for something because she went from, well, we should just move here and stay on the island to, I don't want to leave where we are because I don't want to leave my people to, oh, this opened up. I want to go to Ghana. Like she is legit all over the place.
Yeah. Well, that was her personality, right? You know what I'm saying? All over the place. But I mean, I think that's the one thing that she kind of honed in on, right? There's this cooking in Ghana thing. I want to focus on that. I want to take the whole family. You with it? And he was like, yeah, kind of, yeah, we'll talk about it. He wasn't really with it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to do it. He wasn't down for it. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of how she was in the past, she has evolved, right? She has evolved in some way, shape, or form. She's a mom now. And, this is what she wanted to do. And in one way, shape, or form, she was finally coming to do one thing, which was cooking, which was her thing, right? Mm-hmm. Now, we didn't even discuss the whole, BLM, or BB, that thing when she was marching and then she got arrested and then the kid, you know what I'm saying? We ain't talk about none of that. But you see, just to throw that in there to go with my point, like she was doing a whole lot of stuff that was considered reckless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So here comes Harper, I'm kind of the balance. She's the balance to her being all over the place.
She was more free spirit. He was more logical.
Yeah.
He's more like, yo, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. And she's like, yeah, but I want to do this at the same time. I want to do this, and we could do all of this, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, bro, like two polar opposites.
But she taught her daughter how to, she said, give when you have it. And her daughter did that. Remember, she took her sandwich to the homeless man.
Sweet. Very sweet.
I was like, it's like, see, those type of things, you can't take her away from her mama.
Right. You can't take away from her mama, and you can't take her away from her dad. You know what I'm saying? Let me read
I mean, that's a long way. Ghana, that's a long
24 hours. 24 hours. Inga 71 says the way she's trying to get out of the country as if he was abusive or something. He was a good father, so why would you want to take a child away from him? That's a good point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a good point. Like, but I think she was at wit's end. She was done.
Yeah.
So she just wanted to totally get away and fulfill her dreams and fulfill what she wanted to fulfill. As the same way we're saying, in some way, shape, or form, Harper was selfish. I think she kind of just reflected back on him that I'm going to do what I want to do now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether we believe it's wrong or right, she's like, I've dealt with you doing everything that you wanted to do. I've been supportive of you. I've let a lot of things slide, bro. But now I'm going to do what I want to do.
Right.
And I'm going to Ghana and I'm taking our daughter. Mm-hmm. Now, I was infuriated, but I understand that she was just reflecting back what she was receiving all these years.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wow. Getting deep here. 2 hours in, family. I appreciate you coming through. I mean, I think this is it. We can wrap this up right there. Put a nail in the coffin. Thank you, Amy V, for coming through. Thank you to Finity TV. Thank you, Nita the Diva. Thank you, everybody that came through. Inga71. Thank you, Tamika's Dean. Thank you. Who else came through? Let me see who else came through. Daria came through, right? Man, we thank everybody. Ashira 630 came through. Thank you very much. Who else came through? Faith Family and Fun Reviews came through. Punky, I see you. What's up? Let's see, Daria. Okay, yeah. Thank you everybody for coming through. This was a great discussion today. Definitely, family. If you missed it, watch the playback. We went in deep on each and every character and broke everything down. I think this was great. I feel like we can go another 2 hours, but I can't. I really got things to do. I know you got things to do too. Family, we appreciate you coming through. Thank you for chiming in with us. Thank you very much, Tamika's Dean. Thank you. Appreciate you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Again, we're going to be bringing you more live entertainment. Listen, we got a whole line up. Like the next 3 months is going to be super busy for all of us who are reviewing, recapping, and everything. So get ready. We also got the podcast, fam. So if you haven't already, if you don't know, yes, VACAYJTV and friends, we got the podcast now. And again, that's some extra stuff right there. We not just cabin review, and we doing extra crazy stuff. I got my first guest. Go. You can go to Spotify and check it out. I have my first guest. We were testing out a new platform. Got my first guest, A Boogie with the yellow hoodie. Now, A Boogie looks very familiar.
It's so
you may not know who that is, but
it's
again,
hilarious.
It's hilarious. Yeah, Tiff saw it. Listen, fam, we having nothing but fun. We're gonna bring you that live entertainment. I appreciate you all. This has been fun. Any last words for the family out there? Amy V, Tiffany, y'all can jump in whenever y'all want to jump in.
Now this was good. This was a good one.
Yeah, so are they gonna come back, or is this it?
This is it.
This is unless they come back with the best man old folks home. I mean, you know what I'm saying? AARP.
They can't give us another 8 episodes. I can't do 2.
That's it. Great. We got to talk.
So when they said final chapters, that's final.
Final chapters. That's it. Talk to Malcolm D. Lee. See if you're gonna write another one. See if Peacock picks it up. I mean, that would be dope, right? It would be dope to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they need to spin it off with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Spin it off with the kids and to see how it's
everybody's going. So well preserved. Like everybody's still young and vibrant. And Terrence Howard did mention that he was retiring from acting. So.
He did.
Yeah, it's not going to happen probably because I won't watch it if Terrence is not in it.
Yeah, you gonna watch it. You know you gonna watch it. Yeah, right. You'll be mad. You're gonna watch it. You'll be like, but I still want to see what's going on. You be nosy, just like everybody else be nosy.
Yeah, I'm gonna complain the whole time, but I'll probably
you're gonna be complaining,
tuning in. Yeah,
and then somebody gonna make you laugh, and you're gonna forget all about your anger. Okay.
yeah, you're right.
Happy New Year to you, Inga71. Thank you very much to everybody. I appreciate you guys. Happy New Year. This is our last live discussion for 2022. Can you believe it?
Wow.
2023 is right around the corner. We got a whole lot. We're going to see more of Amy V, of course, and we're going to see more to Finity TV, right?
Potentially. Yeah.
She makes no promises.
It's to show up every now and then, family. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys for coming through again.
But it is kind of dope. It is kind of dope that Tiff was on your first live and she's on your last for the year. That's pretty dope.
Thank you for taking the words out of my mouth. Appreciate it. Thank you again for your support, your love all year. Again, this is our last round table. And we're going to see you before the new year. So I appreciate you all. Thank you, family, so much. I appreciate you, Tiff, Amy, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, fam. And until next time.
Bye-bye.
Salute. See y'all later.
VACAY-JTV